Hey everyone, welcome to Aegis Moto Adventures. Hey, today we're going to make a big loop where we go back and intersect with the TransAmerica Trail and then come right back to Salina, Utah. But it could be an all-afternoon ride because it's a pretty long ride. I think we're going to do probably 140, 150 miles. So we'll get started here just as soon as we get the bikes loaded up. This morning we will be backtracking to intersect the TransAmerica Trail. We had discussions with the hotel staff who was familiar with the road that we would be on. He said there had been a considerable amount of rain which could make the route muddy and impassable. But I was determined to give it a try. I completely skipped filming the interstate since we filmed it in the prior episode. However, I decided to film Highway 10 as we rode towards Castledale. What a beautiful area, and it gives you a good idea of what the TransAmerica Trail would be like between Castledale and Green River. Emory sits at the North Horn Formation. This area is well known for its dinosaur and prehistoric mammal remains. How cool, huh? The area is also known for pre-Columbian culture, the Fremont people. Relics and petroglyphs help document this ancient culture. During the 1700s and 1800s, this area was frequented by European travelers on the Old Spanish Trail. Remnants of these travelers can still be seen in a sizable herd of wild horses east of town. Farron is a small town that sits west of the San Rafael Desert and east of the North Horn Mountains. Mormon settlers moved into the area in 1877 and started farming, which is still prevalent today. I get such a kick out of dogs on motorcycles and ATVs. These cute pups were very well behaved as we fueled up and took a break. Here we ride by the Pacific Corp Power Plant. This coal-fired plant provides nearly 1,500 megawatts of electricity for Utah. This coal-fired plant is obviously not the same type of power plant of my youth. Those plants would belch out thick black smoke. It is clear this plant is scrubbing their emissions. We are taking a short cut off as we approach the TransAmerica Trail near Orangeville, a small town adjacent to Castledale. We will soon be ascending into the mountains in the distance. We will follow the Cottonwood Creek along Highway 29 up into the mountains. The canyons were partially carved by coal miners dating back to 1875. This nifty ride twists and turns and is well worth the effort, even if you don't plan on taking the dirt roads over the top of the mountains. See what I mean? Isn't this a great ride and just an absolutely beautiful area? The coal seams in this area were mainly mined by small companies. Due to the lack of train service, all the coal mined in this area was hauled out in wagons and later in trucks. This limited operations to between 50 and 100 tons per day. It wasn't until 1964 that coal began shipping by train to destinations outside of the local area. At an elevation of 7,000 feet, we run into the Joes Valley Dam and Reservoir. The reservoir stores enough water to supply a drinking and irrigation source for the greater Castledale Valley area. Joe's Valley lies within the National Forest. Camping, boating, fishing, and rock climbing are favorite pastimes for visitors. The area is well known for its boulder climbing, which is a form of free climbing. This boulder climbing is considered some of the best in the world. Well, that's it for the pavement. We'll be on gravel and dirt the rest of the way as we cross over the mountain range. Take a look at Joe's Valley. It's just awesome here. The gravel road turns to mostly dirt as we hug a winding Forest Service road at the edge of the mountain. It may not be obvious, but there's a pretty dramatic drop-off to our left. Yes, it gets a little worse around this corner. Once we get closer to the top, we run into these hunters here. I don't know if they were deer hunting or elk hunting. I felt a little bad because those ATVs and our motorcycles make quite a bit of noise. Hopefully we didn't mess anything up for them. Once it levels off on top a little bit, we run into those mud puddles and muddy areas that the hotel staff was warning us about. Luckily, it wasn't too bad and we could easily ride through them. One thing you can't tell from the video is how cold it's getting. Oh my goodness. I have to think that the temperature here as we climb is dropping 15 to 20 degrees. Once we got on top, it was really cold, and I was still riding with my normal riding gloves. Eventually, I end up having to stop and put mittens on. It was just that cold. You'll see here in a minute. You can clearly see it's a little bit muddy here. It's rutted up from a Jeep or ATV going through there. But we're getting closer to the top here. It's getting a little bit sparser in trees. So yeah, we're getting there. I couldn't find a named mountain pass that we'll cross, but Haystack Mountain is off to our left as we reach the summit. Haystack Mountain sits at 10,381 feet. So we're at 10,000 feet, give or take a little. We have reached the summit, and yes, that's snow, and yes, it was snowing, even if you can't see it in the video. It was so doggone cold, I'm here to tell you. And but we'll be heading back down here shortly, and things will start to warm up for us. We cross over the renowned Skyline Drive. The Skyline Drive follows the ridge of the Wasatch Plateau. The route begins near Tucker, Utah, and travels south 100 miles and terminates at I-70. This backcountry four-wheel drive road only maintains an elevation between 10,000 and 11,000 feet. It is only accessible from July to September. On our descent, we pass by the Great Basin Station. Once a U.S. Forest Service research facility, it is now used and maintained by Snow College. Guests can rent the 1930-style cabins through Snow College. I've got to give credit to the U.S. Forest Service, the town of Efron, and Snow College for saving this historic site. How cool! Today's ride was a first-hand look at orographic lift. This phenomenon occurs when wind hits a mountain range and is forced upward. Moist air condenses in the clouds, which forms water droplets or snow. In our case, it was snow. Because the moisture is dropped on the higher western slopes, the eastern side is sunny and arid. This describes our ride today quite accurately. At the turn of the 20th century, herds of sheep would have covered the mountain meadows we're riding past. The connection between overgrazing and flooding wasn't understood. After a decade of catastrophic flooding devastated the area, the Utah Experiment Station was established to study the problem. The Utah Experimental Station became known as the Great Basin Station. Research from this facility established remedies for watershed and rangeland management across the western states. The lower altitude and the sun poking through the clouds is helping to warm me up a little bit. But boy, I'll tell you, I am still pretty cold. We're going to take a short break here in Ephraim for lunch and to kind of recoup. It'll be a late lunch, but that'll give us just a little bit of a break off the bikes before we head back. Ephraim is a small town, but beside its small size, it's the largest town in Sanpete County. The 2020 census showed it had a population of 5,611 people. This just goes to show you how remote rural Utah can be. The Manti Utah Temple was the fifth temple built and the third temple built west of the Mississippi River. The temple is a part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The temple sits on a hill and can be seen for miles around. The temple is currently being renovated and is never open to the public. Only members in good standing can enter. I couldn't find much on 9 Mile Reservoir other than it's a great place to fish. It was originally created to produce walleye fry for distribution. They were doing an experiment whether or not they could let them grow larger before they went ahead and placed them in streams and lakes. As you can see, we're heading down the highway to get back to Salina. We've got some decisions to make here in the next few days of what all we're going to do concerning the TransAmerica Trail. We're running out of time and the weather is really starting to change, so we're going to have to be careful on what we do and what we don't do. But for now, it's time to just settle back in for the evening. I thought these tanks were a novel idea for advertisement here at the gas station and restaurant. It was cute to see them take the effort to make that. I'm sure they're visible from the highway. We liked the Playa Azul taco shop so well that we ate supper here 2 nights in a row. What a great little restaurant if you happen to be in Salina, Utah. It's time to call it a day, but wow, what a great time we had, despite being a little bit frozen popsicle there up on top of the mountain. But it was a great day. And unbeknownst to me, as I went and looked at the TransAmerica Trail map, that section of I-70 that we came in on, that I was filming, some of that is actually on the TransAmerica Trail. And when we turned and headed north on Highway 10, everything we did from there on out was the TransAmerica Trail until we got to Ephraim. So we were on the trail most of the day, and most of the filming you see today as video is going to be from the TransAmerica Trail until we headed south back to Salina. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it the big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Take care.
Again tonight, and we had a great ride in the mountains outside of Salina. We saw snow, and I saw either deer or elk. I'm not sure. I'll have to wait and watch the video at home. Anyway, another great day in the mountains. We had such a great time.